Hey, Andy here from Andy's Tech Tutorials. In this tutorial I'm going to give you some of my favourite email quick tips for Outlook on the web. So we're not going to be working on the desktop version of Outlook, but we're going to be working instead on the online version as part of Office 365. Now I'm working on the free account, so I have essentially created a free Outlook email account, and I'm going to show you some things that you can do with that to help make your life just that little bit easier. So we'll take a look at things like adding a signature to your emails. We'll take a look at adding safe sender lists so that you can have certain emails blocked and certain emails coming through. I'll show you how you can set up automatic forwarding from your email address to another email address. And we'll look at things like creating an out of office reply, or even being able to undo emails which are sent within 10 seconds. So to give yourself just that little bit of time if you mistakenly press send to be able to stop that email from being sent. So if that sounds interesting, then please do watch. And as always, if you find this video useful, make sure you give it a like. And if you don't subscribe to the channel already, please do consider hitting that like button, that subscribe button, and make sure you tick the little bell so you're notified about any future videos I release. There are plenty of videos on this channel which I'm sure will be of use and of interest to you. So let's take a look at my Outlook on the web email quick tips. Okay, so tip number 1, adding a signature to your emails. Most people are familiar with this one, but it's not the case that you're always going to have to actually add a signature. What's nice about the option is that you can set up a signature and then you can choose whether this needs to be added to every new email that you create, every reply that you send, or if it's just something that you want to insert when you want a signature on that particular email. So first of all, let me show you how you can create your email signature. We're going to go up to the little settings cog up here, and of course I'm in Outlook at the moment as you see here, but I'm going to click on settings, and then you can either go down to view all Outlook settings, or you can actually use this handy search tool within settings to be able to find the signature option. So if I go for signature, you'll see as I start to type signature, it comes up and one of the options is email signature. So by clicking here, it's going to take me to the signature settings. So here you see we have compose and reply, and we have email signature. So I want to create a new signature just now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on new signature, and then I'm going to type in my signature name here, though this is going to be the name for that particular signature. So for example, I could have a personal signature, and then I could have maybe one for my business. So I'm going to put in Andy's Tech Tutorials, and nobody sees this. This is just for you when you're selecting the signature to use, to be able to see which one you are choosing. So then in here I'll maybe put something like Andy Todd, and then I'll put Andy's Tech Tutorials, and then maybe down here I might put my web address. So now as you'll see here, you can format this. So maybe I want my name to be in bold, I can put bold in here. Maybe Andy's Tech Tutorials, I'll leave that as it is, but I'll maybe hyperlink this one. So I'm just going to copy this address, and then I'm going to use the link option down here, insert link, and I'll put in the web address in here. So I've pasted it in and click OK, and that now acts as a clickable hyperlink. Now of course you could spend a lot more time making your signature really fancy. You can insert images, you can do various bits and bobs with it, but I'm just going to leave it as this. Now if you scroll down, you'll see the next options here. It says select default signatures. So do I want to use this signature for any new emails that I compose? If I do, I can then select it from the list, or if I have any replies or forwards, I can select it from the list. But you'll see just now it's not letting me select that, and the reason for that is I haven't saved it. So I'm going to click on save, which will then save that signature. You'll see up here, and you've got the option to rename or delete it if you like. Instead, I'm going to go into new signature here, and in this one I'm going to put in Andy Personal, and then I'm just going to put Andy Todd, and I'll put Scotland. Just put something in there. So let's just put Scotland in bold, and then I'll put UK. So now when I click save, we now have two. So if you need to make changes to one, you can select from here. So I can select Andy Personal and then make my changes, or I can leave it as Tech Tutorials and make changes there. Because I've saved them both now, when I go into here, you'll see we have both options. So at this stage, I'm going to say anytime I create a new message, I want in fact, I'll do Andy's Tech Tutorials, And anytime I'm replying to any messages or forwarding, I'm going to leave that as no signature, because usually by that point, if I've sent the first email, they'll have seen my signature anyway. But if it's a reply to an email that I've received and I've not initially made contact, I can always add one in. So now I'm going to click Save. I'm going to close this menu down, and then I'm going to go to New Message at the top, and you will see it will automatically populate it with my signature. I'm going to discard this one though, and then if I select an email from here and then choose to click on the reply button, so I'll just reply, you'll see it's replying, but it's not going to include my signature there. If I want to add my signature in, all I need to do is go to the three dots, and you'll see there is Insert Signature, and you can choose which one you want to insert. So in this case, it's a response to a personal account, so I'm going to choose Personal, and it pops that signature in there. The good thing about this is you can still make changes to your signature. So if I wanted to put United Kingdom in there, then I could update that if I want. Of course, it's not going to update it in my actual signature. I would need to go back and make changes within settings in the signature group to edit that particular signature. But that's how easily you can create a signature, and then how you can insert it if it's not there in a new message by default or in a reply. Okay, email quick tip number 2, adding a table to a message. Now, this is something that is not necessarily new to people, but it can be really, really useful. And I've noticed on numerous occasions people could have used such a tip, but instead have formatted emails in just weird and wacky and bizarre ways. So if I go to new message, if I was wanting to send something to somebody and I maybe had several pieces of data, let's say some numbers. So commonly people will say something like report 1, and then they'll put in numbers. So I'm just doing this really quickly. And that's okay, but then it could end up being that you've got multiple different things, and depending on how somebody views it, if they're viewing it on a mobile device or if they're viewing it on a computer, the positioning of those numbers and letters could essentially change. So something you might want to consider doing is just making use of the table option. So what you can do is you can go to the three dots down here, and you'll see there is a table option here to insert a table. When you click on this, you're then asked how many rows and columns you want to insert. So we are going to go for something simple, so I'm just going to do a simple 3 by 3, so that will be 3 rows and 3 columns. If I chose this one here, it would be 2 rows and 4 columns. So let's go for 3 by 3, and it inserts the table now. So what we can do is we can say report 1, then we can press tab to move along to the next cell, and we can put the numbers in, and then maybe I'll add some more numbers to here. Then we can click in the next cell down here, tab across, and then we can go to our final one, insert some, and tab across. So we're not doing a huge deal there, we're just basically making a very, very basic table. But even there, you can do things like you might want to format here just to maybe highlight the top numbers, or you can still use the formatting options that live within here. If you're doing this on Outlook on the desktop, you get much more functionality with regards to tables, so you can do shading at the top, you can put in a linked Excel sheet, that kind of thing. But on Office on the web, it's a little bit more restrictive. But even this, it just keeps things equal. It means that if you're viewing it on other devices, it's going to ensure that it looks as you want it to look for your viewers. Okay, tip number 3, setting up safe senders. Now you'll see here I have a junk mail folder, and I've got a couple of emails which have made their way into the junk folder. You'll notice here as well, it says that items in the junk mail will be deleted after 10 days. These are 2 emails from somebody I know, and I don't want them to be in the junk folder, but Microsoft has decided that it thinks they might be dodgy, so it's put them into the junk folder. What I want to do is I want to set up a safe sender email for this particular email address, so that any emails received from this address will no longer go to junk, but will instead go to my inbox, where they will not automatically be deleted and likely not missed. To do that, what I want to do is I want to go up to settings by clicking on the settings button, and instead of searching, I'm going to go down to view all Outlook settings, just to show you the other way that you can get into the main settings menu. Now, because we are looking at Outlook and in particular email, it shows me all of the email options down here. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for junk email, and then you'll see you have either the blocked senders and domains or safe senders. So if you're wanting to block somebody and you don't want to receive emails from these accounts, then you can add them into blocked. But what we're going to do is we're going to add safe senders and domains. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on add, and then I'm going to type in that email address. So andy@andysgolfblog.co.uk, and then I'm going to press the return key. It will now add that email address as a safe sender. I can edit it or delete it using the options here, and now I'm going to click save, and then any future emails from that address will go straight into my inbox instead of going into my junk mail. Now remember, if you want to block any email addresses, you follow the same steps, but instead of adding a safe sender email address, you add a blocked sender. Okay, tip number 4, forwarding and redirecting emails automatically. Let's say, for example, I have set this email account up a long time ago. I know that the email address is out there for people to view and to send emails to, but maybe I don't actually use this account anymore. I don't log into it. What I can do is I can set up forwarding so that if anybody sends an email to this account, it will automatically be sent to the account I'm currently using. I can then reply from that account. This is called email forwarding, and to do this we can go up to the settings menu at the top, and then I'm going to search in here for forwarding. Okay, so you'll see we've got forwarding there. Of course I could have gone into view all Outlook settings and then found the menu option, but I'm just going to jump to forwarding here, and then you'll see that it takes me into the forwarding group here. Now it says you can forward your email to another, which is what I'm looking to do, so I need to enable forwarding by clicking here. Now what I can do is I can type in the email address of the account that I want the emails to be sent to. So I'm going to do andy@andysgolfblog.co.uk, and then before I click save at the bottom, I just want to think about this option here. It says keep a copy of forwarded messages. So if you don't check this one, which is the default, then what will happen is any email sent to the address that you're logged into in that account will automatically be sent to this address that you enter here, but will not be kept in this email account. If you check this option, then you'll receive the email at this address, but it will also add the email to your inbox on the account that it's originally being sent to. So it's kind of like a good way of a failsafe, if you like, where you want to keep 2 copies of the email. You should look to keep a copy of the forwarded messages. So once you've typed in your address and you've checked it's definitely right and you've got it all enabled, then click save. And then you can close this down. So depending on the settings you've chosen, any emails sent to this account will automatically be sent to my other account, and they'll either appear in here or they'll just go to my other account if I didn't ask for it to keep a copy in here. Email quick tip number 5, create an out of office or an automatic reply. So it's holiday time, you're going on holiday, you don't want to be pestered by any emails, you want to let people know that you're not going to be responding. How do you create an automatic reply? Well, what you do is you go to settings, and then once again, we're just going to search in here. Now you can either search for out of office, and you'll see as you start to type out of office or automatic reply, the top one that comes up is automatic replies, because out of office and automatic replies are the same thing. So we're going to click on automatic replies here, and then all I need to do is input the information in here. So you'll see here we can turn on automatic replies, so they're not turned on by default. I'm now going to turn them on, and then you can either just have them on permanently, which means that until I turn it off, anything I type in here will be sent out, or you can choose to define a period of time. So I'm going to send replies only during a specific time period, and I'm going to choose the start date as Friday the 14th at, let's say, 3 o'clock, and then I'm going to return from holiday on Monday the 31st at, let's say, 9 o'clock. So between those 2 dates and those 2 times, any messages that I receive will be replied to with whatever I type in this box. So I'm going to type in here something like, hello, thank you for your email, I am on holiday the moment, but will reply as soon as I return. Okay, nice and short. Now, of course, you can format this if you want. You could put any links in, you could give an alternative email address, but I'm going to leave it just like that for now. Now what you'll see is, because I have chosen to send replies during a specific time period, we have these three options here. So blocking your calendar just shows that you're blocked out for that period of time. Automatically declining new invitations means that people will be told you're out of office and I'm sorry, but they can't attend your event or your meeting. The final option is decline and cancel my meetings during this period. So this one will look at your calendar and it will begin to cancel everything between this time and this time on this date and this date. So it's up to you if you want to use any of these. I'm going to just leave it as it is. I'll maybe block my calendar for this one, and then I'm going to put on holiday as the title for that. Now you'll see down here you can also send replies only to contacts, so you can choose whether or not you just want people in your contact list to be told that you're on leave, or is anybody who sends you an email going to get the reply telling them that you are on holiday. So I'll leave that one unchecked, and then all I need to do is now click save, and I have now set up an automatic reply. So during those periods I will be on holiday and I will basically not be answering emails, and people will be told that, and it will also include that information in my calendar, as you see just at the top here, on holiday. Now when I return, what I want to do is just continue using my mailbox as normal, because it has said that as of the 9th of January on the 31st I am back in the office, so it will turn that off automatically. However, if I decide to come back on Friday a little bit earlier, then what I can do is I can go up to settings, I can search again for automatic replies, and then I can just turn this one off, or I could adjust the date, but personally I tend to just turn it off like this. The good thing is, once you save this, if you come back into this menu, it retains your out of office message. Okay, so you don't need to type that in every time. So if you're not one for typing dates in, then you can just quickly change the dates in here. You might even just take off the time period and then just hit save, and you've got the automatic reply set up and ready to go straight away. So for now I'll turn it off and then I'll click save. Outlook on the web email quick tip number 6. Undo sent emails within 10 seconds. This is an incredibly handy option. How many times have you sent an email, you've pressed send, and then you immediately think, oh no, I've either forgotten to put the attachment in, I've forgotten to include the image, I've forgotten to include the link, or I just didn't actually want to send that email. This gives you that 10-second grace period to think, actually I need to cancel it and stop it being sent. So let me show you how you can put that on. Again, I'm going to go up to the settings menu, and this time I am going to go down into view all Outlook settings. You'll see we have lots of different options in here. What I'm interested in is under compose and reply, and you'll see if I scroll down there is an option called undo send. Now you can define how long you want that period to be, between 0 and 10 seconds. Of course if it's set to 0 it isn't on, but you'll see I can move this slider so we can go along 5 seconds or 10. I'm going to go for 10 seconds and I'm now going to click save. We'll close this menu down, and then I'm going to go to new message. I'm going to quickly type in my email address, so andy@andysgolfblog.co.uk. That's who I'm going to send this one to. I'll put in a subject, and then what you'll see is I'm going to click on send, and what will happen is it's sending, but you see I've got this period of time. So I've decided I don't want to send this. I'm going to hit undo, and it will basically take me back to the message here, which is essentially just a draft at this point. So that's a really useful way just to ensure that any messages that you press send on, be it intended or accidental, can be undone and returned back to draft if need be. Of course, if you want to change that back, you just go back into the same setting. So into settings, into compose and reply, scroll down, and under undo to send, I'm just going to move that back to 0 and click save. Close this down, and now when I hit send, that message has been sent and I can't retrieve it. Okay, on to my final quick tip, which is adding a Google Drive cloud storage to your Outlook account. Now by default, when you create your Outlook account, you are given access to your own personal storage space called OneDrive, and I have another video for that which I'll link to above showing you how to use that. But if you are already using Google Drive to store your documents and your data and your pictures, and you want to be able to easily pull them into an email as an inserted image or an attachment, you can link that Google Drive into your Outlook account. So what we want to do is we want to go up to settings again, and I'm going to go down to view all Outlook settings. You'll see you've got your options that we've been looking at before all the way down the left hand side, but what I want to do is I want to go into attachments. Now within attachments you'll see that we can add other accounts, so you can either add Box, you can add Dropbox, and you can add your Google Drive. So I'm going to add Google Drive here. You'll see your primary account already has, as I said, OneDrive cloud storage set up. So let's add Google Drive. So we're going to choose the Google Drive option, and it will ask me now to sign in. So I'm going to sign in with my Google Drive account details, and then click next. And then the final thing you need to do is just give Microsoft Apps and Services access to your Google account. So of course, read through all of this, make sure you're happy to give access to that, and then you'll click allow. So once you have allowed access, you'll see that it then adds other accounts in here. And then just to show you, if I go to a new message and go down to, let's see, the attachment option, we'll go to attach here. If I go to browse cloud locations, then it will now list my Google Drive as well as OneDrive in here. So I can click on Google Drive, and then I can access some files in here. So you'll see, for example, I've got some pictures of New York, and I can either attach or share a link. So I'll just attach them, and I've managed to attach that from my OneDrive account. If over time you decide you no longer want to have that connected, then what you'll do is go back into settings, back to view all Outlook settings. I'm going to go back into attachments, and then I'm just going to click on remove in here. And you'll see it doesn't say are you sure, it just removes it straight away. And now once I go back into new message, you'll see when I go to attach and browse cloud locations that OneDrive is no longer listed in there. But I can of course add an account here and do it this way too. So there's two different ways of doing the same thing. Okay, so there you have it. That's my 7 Outlook on the web email quick tips. Of course, there are lots more things that you can do with Outlook on the web, and I'm going to produce more videos with more tips for you, but I hope you found that one useful. If you did, please do give it a like, and remember to subscribe to the channel if you think this content is going to help you. As always, I would love for you to comment below. Let me know what you think are good tips or good features of Outlook, and if there's any tips that I've missed, please do pop some in the comments below. But thanks again for watching.